Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Special thank you to our sponsors of The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Jim Coleman, State Farm Insurance, 541-753-2500. Call him for all your insurance needs. And for more information on Christine Smith and Aging Better Network, go to agingbetternetwork.com. Ta-da!
Hey, there we go.
Here we are. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott on this Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time here on the West Coast. And hey, we don't know what time it is where you are, but we're just glad you're here, right, Scott?
You know, it's always fun to start the day off with The Experience, but right before The Experience, it's even more fun because we get to hang out on Instagram Live with Shri.
That's right. We have The Experience backstage every week, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Instagram only. It's an amazing show because it's all of us just kind of being wacky and getting ready to go for this show. But Shri kind of keeps us leveled, and she gives us some video tips and keeps Scott and I on track.
We have a good sponsor for that show.
We do.
Backstage.
Dr. Nupi Aurora, the glitter practitioner.
And
yes,
there's something special happening very soon.
Yes, there is. It is true. Nupi is coming to the U.S. and we're going to see her soon live and in person. Super excited about that. And she's about as giddy and giggling every moment. She's so excited. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're excited for that.
Yep.
And today we're excited for our new sponsor this month, Jim Coleman, State Farm Insurance. Right here, based out of Corvallis and Lebanon, Oregon, have offices in both cities. And Jim is an amazing guy, so we appreciate him so much. And of course, Christine Smith, who not only is a sponsor with the Aging Better Network, but is one of our guests tonight. We have Grace and Christine on. It's going to be a lot of fun. So before we get rolling,
she's here this morning, not tonight.
That's it. That's what I meant. There you go. I'm figuring out what time of day it is. I'm all good.
It's dark. It's morning. It's dark. It's just the way it is. Even though we changed our clocks, it's still anyway. It messes with my light. Messes with
way
my
to keep
light.
me online, Scott. I appreciate that. Well, you know,
let's get to it because that's where the fun is.
We're going to do it. We're going to jump right into it. I just want to remind you, don't forget, we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on The Experience live with Russ and Scott. And you can share this out right now and let people know what's going on. Please share it and tag your friends. Let them know what's going on in The Experience live with Russ and Scott and Christine and Grace. It's going to be amazing. You're going to want to see it. Also, if you would be so kind as please subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to build that up. And you can join our YouTube community by going to theexperience.video. What do you get? You get amazing, amazing things like all the content from all the amazing guests we've had on The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And I'm telling you, who needs to binge Netflix? You can binge The Experience, right, Scott?
That's right. And what does it cost? It's nothing. There's no charge. You just click. But we do appreciate everyone that follows us on YouTube and send us your YouTube link. We would love to follow you as well. So
absolutely we would. And we're excited right now to get going. I can hardly wait. Let's get this show started. We're going to start by getting Grace in the room here. What do you say?
Yeah.
Ta-da! Hello,
all the way
Grace.
from Hawaii.
All the way from Hawaii, the Big Island.
I tell you, all the way from Hawaii. What a wonderful, amazing place. You and I have never met in person, Grace, outside of this great in person, but I have been to Hawaii many times and love it over there.
Yep. And grateful to be here and share with you guys in terms of, elevating the collective together. The inspirational specialist, and obviously, Scott, you, the motivational listener.
I know
you guys
we have those unique names. So, hey,
We're here.
we're going to let you start things off by just giving us a little snapshot. Who is Grace and what are you up to?
Yeah, so thank you for this opportunity. Grateful to be here with the both of you, obviously, and serving this community along with other communities as well. So my name is Grace Fu, and been a nurse for almost 40 years, and that's my background. Yeah, heart-centered kind of caring role, healer as well, been in both conventional and alternative healing. And what I'm up to these days is really educating people on financial tools that can really shift paradigms. And when I talk about this, how do you structure for guaranteed lifetime income? Because Russ, I'll tell you, and Scott, that's somebody's dignity when it comes to retirement. Yeah. And the other thing is, how can you create something with no market loss? Because with the volatility the way that they are these days, to be able to win on the upside is the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I mean, you know, the first time we talked, Grace, I just love what you're all about, and I love your attitude, and you're so uplifting, and your voice is very soothing, by the way. It's just very
Thank you.
It kind of makes me almost tired. It's like one of those, it just helps you go to sleep. It sounds so good. You're the kind that you want, a mother that you want talking to you as you're nodding off as a small child. Anyway, okay, enough about that. Hey, let's get Christine in the house too and get this show rolling. Christine Smith, how you doing?
Well, and
wake up, Russ.
Wake up, Russ.
Right. And I just want to say one thing that is unusual about this show is that it's not normally an option for me to have a meal with one of our guests immediately following the show, but I get to do that today because we're actually in the same household.
Yeah. What are you cooking?
You guys know each other? Yeah.
What are you cooking?
Christine wants to go out.
I'm in the mood for pancakes.
Pancakes for dinner. There you go.
Yes.
That's so great.
Yes.
Well, hey, Christine, give us a little snapshot for those that don't know. Who is Christine Smith and what are you up to?
Oh my goodness. I just had everything in mind what I was going to say. So Christine Smith, when I used to think about gathering people together on a screen and being one of those people, that was just a very, very hard pass. And now 2 hours from the experience live with Russ and Scott, I'm sitting here going, I hope my guests show up. I hope we get to go live. So I've really done a big change as a person who is aging. So I'm 63 now, and at 61, I started doing some very, very different things from my years of caregiving and before that, classroom education. So I guess to sum it all up, I'm a host and an author. That's Christine.
And you're hosting your own online show, just like the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And you've been doing it for more than a year.
Yes, over 100 different guests, because sometimes I have larger groups. So 100 different unique individuals. And the one thing they all have in common is that they have made a pivot into this whole realm of, so a lot of us are going to live a lot longer. Is there something we can do about that? Wow, this is great.
Sure.
Yes.
Grace to make sure we have enough money to live longer. So, this is what I love about this entire group, and that is we've all made those pivots and those
Mm.
changes and transitions in our lives and in what we're doing, even though it may be similar to what we've always done, but we've all kind of adjusted on this journey. And Grace, coming from, what you started and what you're doing now, kind of give us a little bit of background on how you made that transition.
Well, I'm so glad that you asked that, Russ, because I'll tell you, my passion has always been about these medical GoFundMes. Yeah. And watching those go up for friends, family, so many clients over the last 4 decades of being in healthcare just really breaks my heart. And I really wanted to see if there was other solutions out there, in the financial services industry to mitigate that and to give people that safety net that in middle America, we don't have that compared to other first world nations, you call it. Um, and so it was really that impetus and that drive, for wanting to connect people with those solutions that prompted me to begin to do some research within the industry, and then finding, something called living benefits. Oh my gosh, inside of life insurance that can really allow someone to access up to 1.5 million as a safety net, and Christine and I have talked about this on her show to help someone transition through something like Alzheimer's. That takes sometimes years, to go from home to memory care. And it takes a lot of money to do that.
So what do you mean by living benefits?
Great question. So I didn't know what they were either 4 years ago. And from doing the deep dive in as a nurse myself, that was the light bulb that came on for me. Yeah. So today, 20 years later, living benefits didn't exist 20 years before. So the backstory is really, watching middle America, working class people who go paycheck to paycheck. And 60% of the bankruptcies, 40% of the foreclosures in the United States happen because someone got sick. And for the simple reason, we don't have a safety net. Yeah. But today, 20 years later, because of this concept of living benefits that was brought to the insurance industry by a company called National Life Group that has been around for 175 years, I admire this company because of their devotion to people. Yeah. Being a people-centric company. And that has basically transformed the entire industry to now, if you talk to a lot of people out there, when it comes to living benefits, they begin to have an idea, because changing the paradigm of something that's been around for hundreds of years, where you have to die for the policy to pay out, to something now you can use while you're alive to pay for medical things, for terminal, chronic, critical injuries, and then also now the new ones for Alzheimer's, Lewy body dementia, and infertility, just absolutely blows my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, I love your heart because I understand that, that medical cost and all that goes into it. And even
Yes.
those that can ultimately figure out a way to afford it, it is a gigantic hardship.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be.
Huge.
And, Christine, as we are trying to age better, right,
Mm-hmm.
and find answers to do that. I mean, Grace has found an avenue to help people financially, but this whole aging better network that you've come up with, is just right after my own heart, dealing with my mama and my dad who passed away over the last several years. And, going through that whole adventure with mama from independent living into memory care. It's a lot. Christine, go ahead and take it.
Oh, I'm this is why when one of Grace's associates, Laura Herman, who has her own caregiving journey, and she also offers solutions with ABC dementia. When Laura wanted to talk to me about this, what Grace articulates so well, I went, ding. Number one, I'm going to be able to refer back to this when I go to my own website, Aging Better Network, and find their faces, because my husband puts a screenshot, a thumbnail there so that I can look through quickly and find who I'm looking for. I thought, if I could listen to a small group talking about it and bringing up the stories and the reasons why, I thought I'm going to get so much more out of this, but it won't die with me. It won't stop
Mm-hmm.
with me. I can refer people again and again. This is what you've been talking about. I see a crossover here. And that's what I get to do in my show as well, which happens 2 hours later in the morning, is to listen to people and go, wait a minute, there's a person for that. There's a service or a support system. There's a book. There's something that you can just, take a sampling of and go, yep, that's what I need. So Grace, I'm so glad that you were on my show so that I could archive that moment when I was learning and I was asking real questions. I'm just so grateful.
And that's a great point, is the questions, because it seems like I hear this same story, and I've witnessed this for years and been a part of it. When you have a loved one that is aging, maybe going into dementia, has other medical conditions, or maybe it's yourself, it's as if it's never happened before. There's no place to go. What questions do I ask? What are the resources? And then you ask somebody that knows Social Security about veterans benefits, but they don't know veterans benefits because so maybe you get some information, maybe you don't. You don't even know what questions to ask. And this is one of the things that I love about your show, The Aspects of Aging, on agingbetternetwork.com, which is that people are asking the questions and providing answers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to just say that I'm a huge proponent of that we are better together. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about bringing all these people together with different benefits and different knowledge and expertise and being able to fill in those gaps. And that's something, Grace, that you really did. You found a gap and then you filled it to help people, right?
Absolutely. And one of the inspiration for me, like your title says, inspirational, specialist, right? Was really the self-actualization piece, right? If the financial house is not in order, if someone's in survival mode trying to piecemeal a life together financially, it's very hard to even begin to think about those bigger questions in life. And so I love holding the space where through education, which is what nurses do really great at, in terms of just sharing information, to be able to be that Sherpa or that guide, that's what I call myself these days, to help people through that hand-holding process. Because like Christina and you guys, right, like you were mentioning earlier, that transition phases sometimes can be very daunting, and especially a big, huge diagnosis like cancer or Alzheimer's to navigate for a family.
Yeah. Well, and I have had, unfortunately, maybe fortunately, it's been a blessing with what I've learned and how it's made me stronger, and God's really used me through it. But,
Amen.
going through cancer with my dad, he
Yeah.
passed away from cancer, then having Alzheimer's and dementia with my mom. And my dad actually had dementia and sundowners at the end too. So having to deal through that, and then having
Wow.
my own cancer journey. And then the after effects, because cancer is really a lifelong journey. I mean, the medical cost, becoming a type 1 diabetic and having a bunch of issues after the cancer, that those costs and everything keep building. But, Christine, it's like there's just so many areas. This is just one. But, like getting mama in and dad in senior living, that's a whole thing to navigate by itself, and having the people that can help you, whether it's that area, financial, whatever it might be, right? People that can help you. And Christine, you're bringing those people together.
Yeah. Russ, you remind me, I wish I could remember the name of this amazing woman who has both the background knowledge. She's been to school for what she does. I referred to her as an expert, and she said, no, I don't ever want to be called an expert. I want to be a specialist, because I feel like the expert kind of has all the information and they're just going to go on telling people. But a specialist is someone who's always learning. And that's true of you, Russ, because never did you decide that you were going to become a specialist in what cancer does to a person, to how they feel about the next day, or what it's taking away, what it's giving. But you're always looking at what is my purpose? The same as Grace. She said she's become a healer. And I'm like, yay. You can say, you know, I'm good at putting in an IV, or I'm excellent in an emergency. But you're just like, I'm a healer. I've become a healer, and coming at it from different standpoints. And Grace, did you know that I have met your associate Laura Herman in person for the first time?
I love it that you guys met in person.
Yay!
Yay.
you get to have your chance someday.
Yeah,
I think we
someday
should all go
we'll
to
have a
Hawaii
chance
and meet
to.
Grace. Let's
There
do
you
that.
go. Let's come.
That's perfect. Perfect. I vote for it.
Yay. Yay.
Well, we know we can do the show remote, so okay. It's
Very
a
cool. Very cool.
And we can have birds in the background. You've been hearing
There
the
you go.
birds in her background. I'm
Can
just
you
like,
actually hear the birds in the background?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
The birds and the bugs and all
The
that
birds
stuff.
and the bugs.
Yeah.
So I'm outside, as you can see, rainy season, mosquitoes. So if you see me slapping stuff, it's the mosquitoes.
That was my
Yes.
favorite.
Yes.
That is my
Life is an
favorite
experience.
show moment.
There you go.
Well, this is what, I love this group here because I think all have embraced, as you grow in life, and we are getting, hey, you're only as old as your mind. Well, that's not 100% true, but you can really keep a young perspective on life and an ever learning perspective. I
Absolutely.
know
Yes.
from each one of you personally, that's how you are, like Christine had mentioned. And I think that is what makes us better, helps us live our best life now, when we are constantly wanting to learn and grow, adapt. And when we find that area, Grace, we seize it and we do something about it.
Yeah, to make a difference in people's lives. And I think that's one of the huge reasons we're all here. Yeah. Scott, you doing what you're doing. Russ, you as well. Being that inspiration specialist as you're navigating through your own challenges. And I just feel so inspired, just watching you live your inspiration and keeping that heart super young, which then allows us, like Christine was saying, stay young at heart, young at heart.
Yeah. Well, I'm blessed. God has definitely blessed me with the ability in the midst of all of that, because life is messy. And I mean, we all just have to say sometimes, even when you're a positive, upbeat person, sometimes life is just not, it's kind of yucky and kind of messy, and you're not really happy. I mean, that happens at times, but what is our perspective on things, and where do we take it from there? Where do we go? I always say life happens and then you choose. And so life's happening to us all the time, but then we get to choose where we take it. And Christine, I love what you have done, and really embraced, your show and writing and your conference and all that you're doing. You're impacting so many people. And so are you planning to continue with those conferences and things like that as well with your Age You Better Network? Do you have any ideas about the future there?
It was great. I asked for 8 and I got 9. I got 9 speakers, but Laura didn't take on a speaker role. But when she arrived, I'm like, oh, we could have. I want to know more about her too. But yes, it's already in the works. I already have people saying next time, when you, etc. People locally here in Independence and Monmouth, Oregon, we just received our AARP designation as an age-friendly community, which actually means now we're starting. In other words, we're on board. We've got this great university, small little university with a gerontology bunch. We've got, all these, pathways that are ADA and all these good things, but there's so much more. So we need to all be specialists here, starting to learn about making our community age friendly. Scott and
Yeah.
I are planning to age right here. And I can see some things that I'm going, their community has this. I want to pull that into my community or make it, more accessible, etc. So it's definitely happening again next fall, October 4 through 7. And the first day is going to be speakers only, because that was too much fun to just hang together, present to each other, get instant feedback from supportive other speaker, experts, professionals, book writers, people who have pivoted and are starting something new. We all got instant feedback from each other. So that's the first day is kind of like, ooh, just the inner circle.
And Convergence, which is the name of your conference.
Yes,
Convergence. You had something very special. You had a premiere in Oregon.
Yeah, that's right. Almost all the speakers were Oregon based, and that was on purpose as well, because I wanted Oregonians to know what Oregon already has to offer. So we literally had a special permission to do a screening of an indie film that had already received 3 awards at indie festivals. So the film was called Wine, Women, and Dementia. And the gal who created it left NBC to come back to Oregon to care for her mother, and thought, I could put this together, what I've been good at and what I just had to figure out, bumps, lumps, and, a lot of grumps. And I just made that up. and she
lumps and a lot of grumps.
Yeah, I love it.
So she created a film about it because she felt like, where's the book? Where's the person who tells me, what do you do? When she literally said on film, and my mother said that is a really nice guy, and she's sitting next to her husband, and Kitty says, that's the moment I knew Mom was going to be less independent, because she couldn't quite come up with her husand's name. So, it was great. It was great to see that one. I got to see one 2 days later because Monmouth Independence did the same thing, but with a completely different kind of film addressing the same aging issues and also dementia. I was so enriched, and I would much rather that thousands of people know about these films and feel less isolated by what's going on here and what do I do about it, and can I even do this?
Well, Russ is going to have to kick into responsible host mode.
No, be
there you go.
irresponsible.
That was it. I was getting ready to do that, and I was going to say that, as we do a quick wrap up because we're drawing close to our time, I just want to say that we could talk about all of this with both of you for hours and hours, and we'll have to do another show down the road and talk some more because so much good information. But real quickly, Christine, give us your gold nugget, and then how people get in touch with you.
Oh, I've discovered that a lot of people will secretly admit they're afraid of aging because aging, getting old, sounds like problems and pain. And since that phase is not going to be done at age 68 for everyone, then why not tackle it like you did getting that new job? You started looking up stuff ahead of time to impress the boss. You're the boss of your aging. Impress yourself. Start looking up those things, and you can come to agingbetternetwork.com and find a whole bunch there and go, I did not even know that was a thing. And there's this person who's invented this cool thing, and I'm getting one now so that I can pre-act my age.
There you go. There you go. And
Absolutely.
people get in touch with you how?
They can get a hold of me on LinkedIn. I'm the one you --2 Christine --Smith at the end of your LinkedIn letters. And they can get a hold of me at my email is Christine at PreActYourAge.com. PreActYourAge.com. And you can just enjoy browsing in Aging Better Network. It doesn't hurt too much if you can kind of stand back and see how other people have created solutions. It's not so scary to age.
There you go. There you go. All right, Grace, give us your gold nugget and how people get in touch with you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christine. So I'll piggyback onto Christine. Money is a scary topic for a lot of people. So let's make it simple and let's make it easy for folks. Really is through that financial education piece that they can get empowered to then be able to create a very different trajectory generationally for themselves, especially when we're talking about, in combination with the aging population, all the financial issues that come and arise through that whole entire journey. How do you navigate that? So I don't know if you can pop that free strategy session link, the jot form that I have on the chat.
I can. Hey, give me just a sec while you're talking. I will get that put together.
Yeah, and then I can be reached on LinkedIn, Grace Mayen Fu, just like my spelling on the name that you're seeing on the screen. And feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to just show the way, connect the dots, do the hand holding that's needed, because a lot of the times money was scary for me. 4 years ago, if you would have talked to me about money, I would have run the other way. And so it's through this overcoming is then the possibility of then now being the guide for somebody else. Yeah. In terms of how do you navigate this whole entire scary terrain.
And we have that information there in your free strategy session.
Thank you so much.
And that'll also that's in the comments. And it's also, we'll make sure that we have that posted some more so people know how to click. All that stuff's clickable. And same thing with all of Christine's information. And we appreciate you both so much. We're going to say goodbye for now, but it's only for today because we're going to definitely have you two back. And I appreciate you both so much.
Likewise, you guys are awesome. Have a great, amazing evening.
Hang tight in the green room because I do have something I want to talk to you about after. We'll see you in a sec.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right.
Wonderful, Russ.
Wow.
I was just thinking that, warriors go into scary places and prepare the way and make it safe for those to follow. And we had two warriors tonight, Grace and Christine. They're going into those scary places and making it safe for us to enter.
Yes, well, for sure. And, I just really love what they're both about. And of course, that's near and dear to my heart. With the whole aging issue and the whole financial issue around that, both are so important to me because I think that those are such gigantic issues that people, they don't really think about. And so, as we're talking here, I want to make sure and get, Christine's information that she gave me up on the screen as well.
We'll get it clickable in the notes for everybody.
It'll all be in the comments, but there it is on the screen right now also, and we'll have it up in the show notes and in the comments as well. But just want to tell everybody, connect with these two ladies. I mean, amazing resources, both of them. And Scott, we're just blown away every week. It gets better and better.
Well,
7 a.m. every week.
This issue is just, it's incredible. Just yesterday, I got a text message actually from a client that he said he has a key employee who just gave notice because she has to go back to Kentucky to take care of her mom who just fell, and but has been on the decline, and so it's just out of nowhere, right? It seemingly out of nowhere. But it's just something that touches everybody at some point.
It does. And I have got those calls from the neighbor that had to go pick my mom up because she couldn't find her way home. I've got those calls from the memory care and the senior living facility she was in, that as everything changes, it could be tough through all the different changes. So, but you know what? I tell you, there's hope, and there's great resources and great people that can help you. And I was blessed with a lot of those people in my life. And I just want everybody to remember, connect with Christine, connect with Grace, get information about aging better, about financial resources available to you. All that information is clickable to go to them. And don't forget, Scott and I are here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Well, Pacific time. We'll just say Pacific time, and then we get it covered.
There you go. But it is Pacific Standard Time now. We have made that change. So anyway,
dark.
We'll be here every week, and we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And before this, as we said, we're on the Experience Backstage on Instagram only at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. And we just appreciate everybody being here. And Scott, I think with that, it's time to call it a show.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen,
Wonderful
I appreciate you. So, Scott, and it's a blessing every week for me. And thank you. Thank you.
It's a highlight to hang out with you, Russ.
There you go.
Even virtually.
Yeah. Especially like the real coffee, the real in person. But all right, everybody, until we see you next week, enjoy your life. Have an awesome day and enjoy
the experience.
Woohoo!
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.